Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going over the Natasha Denona Diamond and Blush in Darya. I have had this in my collection for a bit, haven't been getting the most use out of it. In the last 2 weeks I've been using it a ton, simply because I watched a video by Michelle's Everyday Glamour. She's a YouTuber. I'll link her channel down below, and I'll actually link the video that she did this in. She used every color in this palette to create a look, to create her blush and highlight look, and I really was impressed. I tried it a couple of times and I've absolutely loved it. So I wanted to show you that today, show you how I use the palette. Is this really worth the $89 or is it not? So if you're interested in seeing this video, just keep watching. So I'm going to start with the cream blush right here. I'm going to put that on the apples of my cheeks, and I've tried a couple different methods. I've used a beauty blender, I've used my fingers. I like putting it on a little bit with my fingers and then like using my beauty blender to blend it out. I've got some on my finger. I'm just going to kind of blend it onto my cheek. I like to start with this first, doing all my cream products first, and then moving on to powder, obviously. The bronzer that I have on is by Bare Minerals in Tan, the Invisible Bronze. I really like it. Look at how pretty that looks already, and all I've done is my finger. I'm gonna go onto this cheek. This is so creamy and so perfect. It just gives you a beautiful glow. Now, if I was going out and gonna be outside all day long, I don't think I would put a powder over this. I would just do exactly what I'm doing, and then I would just use my beauty blender that is wet and pop it right over just to blend it out some. Need a little bit more on this cheek. Perfect. Now over that, I'm gonna make sure I don't have that on my finger anymore. I'm gonna use the Diamond highlighter. I'm just using this as a cream highlighter just to put as a base for the highlight that I'm going to put on. I'm gonna go right to the very top of my cheek, and then I'm going to pop that on with my finger, and then I'll go over it with my beauty blender. A little bit on my nose, and this also helps you to hold on your highlighter for the whole day. Like if you have issues with your highlighter starts fading away during the day, use a cream base first and then put your powder highlighter on over it. It'll last longer. Okay, so now I'm going to go into this blush right here with a nice fluffy brush, which there's absolutely nothing on this brush, and I'm gonna lightly tap it in there. This is very pigmented, so you don't want to use a ton. Just lightly tap, and look at how much you've already gotten on the brush. Tons. Tap off extra, and then we're gonna go right over what we just did. Then over that, I'm gonna lightly touch it with a little bit of this pink, just a little tap on it, more right here on my cheek. I'm just going to tap it right there on my cheek just to give a little brightness right there on my cheek. I'm cleaning off my brush, just one little tap of this like that, tip off excess right here. It's just going to give more of a glow right in the center part of your cheek. I think that's so pretty. It's so glowing and pretty. I love it. Now over that, I'm going to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills brush, and I'm going to go into this highlighter right here. It's called Glow Extreme. I'm going to pop that right over where we just put that highlighter, and watch what this does. So that's where we're at with the glow. Again, I love to kick it up another notch. We're going to take the diamond powder, this color right here, and we are going to pop it right on top of that. And I'll show you one cheek with the diamond powder, one cheek without it. So this is the diamond powder. We're just kind of pressing it right over. I don't want to make a big mess with this because it will make a big mess. It's really shimmery. Okay, so this cheek with diamond powder and the cream brown highlighter and the Glow Extreme, and this one does not have that. Can you see the difference in the two? Wow, I can see. You may not be able to see it, but definitely in person, I can see this is like, looks wet. And this is shimmery still, obviously, but not as shimmery. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit more, and we're going to go right over that spot. And this does have glitter particles, but they're really tiny. And I don't feel like it accentuates any, texture on my skin at all. I just think it looks really pretty. Yeah, and that's using the entire palette. The entire palette, the way that I feel like it was intended to be used. So, okay, so after I'm done doing all of my highlighting and blush, I would always buff right over everything. It just kind of calms everything else, makes everything else, it just calms everything down and makes everything look seamless, not like you have any transition in between the two. I'm using my Girl On Meteorites. I love this stuff. A little tip, if you have these, you know, kind of shake them up so that a little bit of powder comes off of the beads, and I just opened it and it just got a big puff of yuck everywhere. I use my Sephora Pro 91. It's the only powder I use for this, and a lot of times if you see the lid on this is a whole bunch of powder right there, I'll just use that. Just dip into it like that, tap off, and I'm going to take this and just buff away. I'm going to take off my nice handy dandy military shirt, and I'm going to go over with you my pros and cons of this palette, okay? Okay, so this is the completed look. I am thoroughly impressed. I am so glad that I happened upon this video with the Diamond and Blush palette. I am so happy that I did, and I'm honestly thinking about picking up the other one. So just spoiler alert, I love the palette. I absolutely love the palette. I love that I found a way to incorporate all the colors, and this leans more pinky than the other palette. They have a citrus palette, and I really think I'm gonna pick that up. So let's get into some nitty gritty. Natasha Denona is not cheap. I totally get that. Her palettes are expensive. This is $89. You're getting 6 palettes. They are all 7 grams or 0.25 ounces. That's a lot of product. I don't know that I would ever really go through all of that, but I wanted to show you a few of her other products that I have and give you cost comparison. So I have the All Over Glow Face and Body Shimmer. I use this to highlight my décolleté, my shoulders. I don't really use this on my face all that much. You get in this 10 grams of product or 0.35 ounces, and this is $38. So I kind of was trying to figure out, well, this is 7 grams, one pan is 7 grams, this is 10 grams, this is 38, so I'm gonna go ahead and say this is about $34 if you were to put it in here. Just take away a few grams, maybe $33. Then I have a Natasha Denona Blush Duo. These blush duos are the same size, 0.25 ounces or 7 grams, and they're $38. So my thought process was that if you took 2 of these, the say a cream or a highlighter and a blush, which is what you'd get in this, that would be $38 alone. Then if you were to take the Natasha Denona Glow and say that that's your highlighter, and say if we had that at $33, you still have 3 other products that you haven't accounted for, which I've never seen this diamond powder by itself, or this diamond powder, I'm sorry, by itself. So I don't even know if you can buy it by itself. So if you were to just do those 2 products, you'd be about $72, and the whole palette was $89. So do I think it's worth it? Yes. If you're into Natasha Denona, if you're into high-end blushes, highlighters, absolutely I think it's worth it. So I figured I'd pull out a few of my other highlighters and decide, is this something that is worth the money, or do I have other highlighters that I can get a great look out of at a lesser price? I pulled out some of my Becca highlighters. This is Becca and Opal. It's probably the one I've used most out of all of my Becca highlighters. As you can see, I've almost hit pan on it. This is $38, and I wrote some information down here about the Becca highlighters. They are 8 grams of product with 0.28 ounces. So there's that product right there. It's got a gram more of product. It's $38 for 1 shade. So you can see where I'm going with this. 3 shades, if you were to pay $38 for 3 shades, or even $36 because it's got a gram more, you're really spending quite a bit of money, and you only have 3 shades, whereas in this I have 6. Okay, going on to something even more high-end that of course I had to have was the Deerskin Nude Air Highlighter in 02. This bad boy is 6 grams, which is less product than what you get in the Natasha Denona, and it is $56 just for 1 color. So you're paying for the Dior name. Do I love this highlighter? Will I keep it forever and use it a ton? Absolutely. But I was just trying to show you that you are getting 6 products in the Natasha Denona. You don't have to wear all of them on your face at one time, but I love this look. And I've worn it for work, and I work long hours, so I will be up doing my makeup about 4:30 in the morning to leave anywhere between 4:45 and 5:15, depending on what office I'm going to. And my blush, when I do it like this, is on all day long. When I'm going to take my makeup off at about 7 o'clock at night, I'm kind of bummed that I have to take it off. So I hope this was informative and gave you a little bit of information regarding this palette. And listen, there are times when I have palettes or I buy products and it sits in my collection and I'm frustrated. When you spend $89 on something, it's frustrating if it's just sitting around and not being used. So what do? I jump on YouTube. I look up other reviews. I look up tutorials, look up how somebody else is using a product so that I can start using my product and feel better about my purchase. So I got on YouTube, started looking around at some things. Honestly, I was thinking about buying the citrus palette, and I was really only using 2 colors, 2 to maybe 3 colors in this palette. I hadn't used the creams at all, and I was still looking to purchase the other one. So I was looking up videos and I happened upon that video. Like I said, I'll link that down below so that you can watch the video on how she used the product. But I thought it would be really cool to recreate what she had done and show you how there are ways to find other uses for products. So if you've had a palette that's in your collection, you're like, I don't know what to do with this, or I'm not using this very much, go on YouTube before you get rid of it, check out some videos, and find new ways to use something you've already got in your collection. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and until next time, have a great rest of your week.